So let's get started with chiropractic personal injury documentation. And the reason I say it's chiropractic is this is unique to chiropractic. The chiropractic profession treats unique types of personal injury. We don't see the emergency room personal injury with the compound fracture and the dislocations and things like that. And by the way, that's rare. That's very rare. That's not the norm. So the norm is actually the soft tissue injury. And so that is what, and that's what typically what chiropractors treat is the soft tissue injury. And then every now and then they'll be added on some other injuries like a disc or a nerve injury, something like that. But it all starts with the soft tissue injury. So there are three categories of how chiropractors support personal injury claims. These are the three categories of how chiropractors support personal injury claims. Number one is the top 5 Colossus financial driver categories. Now, we'll go into that a little bit more. Colossus is an injury-based software program that essentially assigns injury awards to injuries. And there's several other types of Colossus type programs. But you don't have to get hung up on Colossus. All you have to really understand is what's important to document. If you just document what's important, then you'll naturally be in the Colossus categories. So the second category are the 6 categories to tell the story and win the case. And this is really big. So first is how to document the injury. The second part is how to tell the story. Now, if you're an attorney in this group, in this room, this is huge. This is how, these 6 steps is how I never lost in court. If you can find a doctor that can give narrative reports, depositions, or court testimony in these 6 steps, you're going to significantly increase your awards. You can take good documentation and not put it in these steps, and you'll significantly reduce your award. You can take bad documentation and put it in these steps and win your award. Okay? So these 6 steps, because they build the case, you'll see, they build the case. It's a sequential and logical progression of building the case. Subjective, hybrid subjective and objective, and totally objective. That's why this is so important. And a quick little note by that, I had one of my clients, he told his attorney, he was going to court, told his attorney, make sure you ask me these questions in this order. This order is those 6 steps. And the attorney started, and then he went right back to his old way of asking questions. And he wasn't able to build the case. And so it really got my client mad because he knew what he did. He screwed up the case is what he did. So my client said, he basically put the gauntlet down with every attorney, and he said, if you don't ask me these questions in this order, I will not testify for you. But if you do, I'll testify for you and we'll win. Because he understood the importance of sequentially putting the case together. Next case, he goes, they offered him $10,000. He gets with his attorney and says, ask me these in this order. If you don't ask them in this order, I'm not testifying. Are you going to ask me in this order? He says, sure. $75,000 judgment from $10,000 offer because he followed the plan. The 2 categories to defend the case. Now the first 2 will win the case. That's what will win the case. The third category defends the case. The 2 common areas that the attorney is going to get hit on from the insurance adjuster and insurance company is the low impact injury. They're going to try to minimize their financial liability by saying this is a low impact injury. The other way is they're going to say this was a pre-existing injury. Those are the 2 common attacks that you're going to get if you're an attorney. And so if you're a chiropractor, you need to know how to document and load up to defend that, because that's what's coming down the road. So when you know how to document all 5 of the financial driver categories, then you know how to tell the story in the 6 categories and the 6 steps to sequentially and logically tell the story and win the case. Then you have the documentation and know how to defend against the pre-existing and the low impact injury. That's how you win. That's how I never lost a case in court. If I couldn't do this, I told my attorney, don't go to court.